I think a commission position is very different than what we are discussing today. And I the fact that it's not just limited to commission, it's also for anybody that is promoted. So you can be in a regular job, not part of a commission situation, but if you're failing to perform, you get demoted, and then you get a pay cut with it. So I just want to make sure that's clear.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. You saw that moment, and honestly it speaks louder than any introduction I could give. We'll watch the full exchange in just a bit. But I want to start with that clip, because it perfectly exposes something people have pointed out for years about Ilhan Omar and the way she approaches economic debates. She often questions employers and business owners in a way that makes you genuinely wonder if she understands how the private sector functions day to day. And yes, opinions on her vary widely. Her controversies, statements, and past decisions have all made her one of the most polarizing figures in politics. But when she goes toe-to-toe with someone who's actually built a business, handled payroll, managed employees, and signed checks, it can come off as strangely disconnected. While she spent her career in government and activism, entrepreneurs live the pressure she's questioning. There's a massive gap between discussing theory and facing consequences. And now we're about to see that contrast unfold when she challenges someone who genuinely understands responsibility, employment, and real-world accountability. If you believe in work ethic, free enterprise, and common sense economics, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Let's jump into full exchange, because what follows is one of the clearest examples of theory slamming headfirst into lived experience.
Representative O'Neill, I'm just wondering, as a union member for a long time, and I've also gotten an opportunity to work in the private sector, and I'm curious to know if you know of any employer that has a provision where they decrease pay for employees. I find that a little strange, and so I just wanted to know where that thought comes from. If you know where an employee gets their pay decreased.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, I was a business owner. I recently sold my share, so I don't own it anymore, but there are plenty of businesses out there, especially those that depend on employees' productivity, like I was in the trades. So I owned a company that was a tile setting company, and if we didn't get out there and do the work, and if I didn't have highly productive employees, they were paid based on their productivity. So if they had issues, it is very possible that their pay would reflect those issues. If they were on probation for something, some sort of violation, that could be coordinated with a pay reduction. It's something that businesses do all the time, and it could be the step before someone is actually fired. So it's an important thing, and it gets people's attention, when they see it in their paycheck that their performance is not weekly standard.
Hudson, I think, did you have something?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Hudson, was there a question from Mr. Hudson?
No, I think he was saying that he wanted to add something. So I didn't know.
Mr. Hudson, is there a response to the question? Do you have a response to that question?
Madam Chair, yes, ma'am.
That you aren't aware of any businesses that decrease pay? Is that what the question?
Madam Chair, I think what Chair O'Neill perhaps could be referring to, there are some instances where the pay structure is different. So, for example, she indicated that she had come out of the towel industry. I'm not sure if these were commissioned employees who may have been on an 80-20 split. In that instance, there is a situation where a pay might be reduced. Or if we have a supervisor who perhaps had a performance improvement issue or a behavioral concern, and we demoted this supervisor, that is an instance where pay might be increased. But just an employee who has not been under some sort of performance improvement program, having their pay reduced, I've never heard of it.
Well, Mr. Hudson, I think Representative Neal knows exactly what she says. and I think we've had a little conversation back here when the question was asked, and Representative Ilhan, do you want to speak to that more?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Omar, if you happen to be a sales and you could be selling cars, you could be selling siding, you could be selling just about anything, and you are paid a commission. So if you don't sell anything, you don't make anything. So you can have good years, you can have bad years. Probably really one of the best examples is a real estate agent. So it's the idea that people can make less money year to year, not to mention all the bonus situations that are out there in the industry. It happens. It happens a lot. It doesn't necessarily happen here in the public sector, but it's pervasive and very, very common in the private sector. Thank you.
And I might add that in the private sector as well, people, if they are not performing at their job, get demoted, and with that demotion comes a pay cut. And that's not even related to the commission position, that's just another position as well. Representative Omar. I think a commission position is very different than what we are discussing today. And I the fact that it's not just limited to commission, it's also for anybody that is demoted. So you can be in a regular job, not part of a commission situation, but if you're failing to perform, you get demoted, and then you get a pay cut with it. So I just want to make sure that.
Thank you, Chair. Representative O'Neill, I'm just trying to understand something, because as someone who's been part of a union for many years and has also worked in the private sector, this struck me as unusual. Do you know of any employer who actually decreases an employee's pay? I find that concept a bit strange. So I'm wondering where that idea comes from, and whether you know of any situation where an employee's pay is reduced. Representative O'Neill. Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, I used to own a business, recently sold my share. But yes, there are absolutely businesses that do this, especially ones where productivity directly affects a job. I was in the trades. I ran a tile setting company, and if my employees weren't performing or if they had issues, their pay could reflect that. If someone was on probation for a violation, that could also result in reduced pay. It's incredibly common. Sometimes it's a step before someone gets fired. And honestly, when people see their performance reflected in their paycheck, it grabs their attention very quickly. Representative Hudson, I believe you wanted to add something? Madam Chair, Mr. Hudson, did you have a response? Madam Chair, yes. To the question about whether businesses decrease pay, what Representative O'Neill is referring to could apply in situations where the pay structure is different. For example, in the tile industry, some workers may earn through commission or splits, like an 80-20 arrangement. That would naturally cause pay to fluctuate. And if a supervisor is underperforming or facing behavioral issues and gets demoted, their pay goes down. That's another scenario. But a regular employee, without those factors, simply having their pay reduced, I have not seen that. Well, Mr. Hudson, I think Representative O'Neill is clear about what she meant. Representative, would you like to speak? Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Omar, if you're a salesperson, whether it's cars, siding, real estate, anything, you earn through commission. If you sell nothing, you make nothing. You can have great years or terrible years. And in real estate especially, income swings are normal. This is how the private sector functions. It's extremely common, even if it's not typical in public sector jobs. Thank you. And let me add that in the private sector, if someone isn't doing their job well, they get demoted, and demotion comes with a pay cut, regardless of whether they're in a commission-based role or not. Representative Omar, a commission role is quite different from what we're discussing. And Representative Omar, I did mention that this isn't limited to commission. Anyone can be demoted for poor performance, and a pay cut follows. That's standard. Now, let's break down what we just saw. Omar opens with a question that, to many, shows a surprisingly insulated view of how employment actually works. Do you know an employer who decreases pay? She asks like the idea is unthinkable. But for anyone who's ever worked in sales, management, or any performance-based job, it's normal. In the private sector, Pay often tracks performance.